Welcome to MRU E-Learning, powered by Malla Reddy University. Myself, Ramakrishna, Associate Professor, School of Agriculture Sciences, Malla Reddy University. Today, I am going to take about Introduction to Extension Education and Rural Sociology. Here, first we would like to know about what is meant by extension. It's a Latin roots actually. The ex means out, tensio means stretching. That means the term it indicates stretching out from where to where. It stretches out from the university education to the villages, to the open fields and all. Here what happens is, today we'll know about extension education. The word extension is derived from Latin word. It is ex means out, tensio means stretching. Thus the term clearly it explains stretching out from where to where. Actually, it stretches out from the scientific community or the university education and all, and to the people who cannot attend the university properly, for their benefit actually that the kind of education it spreads out, it stretches out and all. Here what happens is it stretches out from the universities to the village people and all. It goes to the villages, and the village people generally they may not be in a position to come to the university properly. For their benefit and all, the education it will stretch out from the universities to the village people in the rural areas and all. That's the extension education. And there are actually the three links in the chain of the rural development are research, teaching and extension. Extension is one of the link in this particular rural developmental activity. And there are various definitions there regarding the extension education, but mostly or comprehensively two definitions we can list out. The first definition is it was given by Dr. J. Paul Legans, that is extension education is an applied science consisting of content derived from research, accumulated field experiences and relevant principles drawn from the behavioral sciences synthesized with useful technology into a body of philosophy, principles, content and methods focused on the problems of out-of-school education for adults and youth. If you look at this particular the definition and all, comprehensively what is meant by extension and what is meant by extension education, it is inbuilt in this definition itself. It is clearly explained, and it is an applied science. That means it is the application part of the science, and what is the subject matter of the extension? It is nothing but the content. The content that means the subject matter of the extension. It is derived from the research. That means the extension scientists and all, they do several research activities and all. They come out with their research findings and all, and accumulated field experiences also of the farmers and the scientists with the farmers and all. Then the relevant principles drawn from the behavioral sciences. That means all the principles. So the behavioral sciences are the psychology, sociology, the management, the anthropology. These are all behavioral sciences, and the principles that were taken from these behavioral sciences were imbibed or were included in this particular subject, and they are synthesized with the useful technology, and they were made into a body of philosophy, principles, content and methods, and they focus on the problems of out-of-school education for adults and youth. The people who cannot attend the universities properly, for their benefit actually, and to solve their problems and all, to find out the problems and give the solutions to those problems and all, this extension education got developed and all. And there is one more definition given by Dr. A. Reddy. It is a science. It is a science which deals with the creation, transmission and application of knowledge designed to bring about planned changes in the behavior complex of people with a view to help them live better by learning the ways of improving their vocations, enterprises and institutions. Here in this particular definition, clearly we can tell that it is creation. We are creating and we are transmitting and we are applying the knowledge designed to bring about planned changes. Whatever the changes that we want from the rural communities and all, and in the behavior complex of the people, of the village people and all, we prepare, there is a certain plan involved in that one. We try to make those plan changes in the behavior of the people. And why we are doing that kind of of plan changes in their behavior, it is nothing but to help them to live better by learning the ways of. They have to learn the ways of improving their vocations, enterprises, and institutions. Here, learning is nothing but it's a progressive behavioral adaptation. Each and every one of us, actually, we learn many things slowly, step by step, progressive and behavioral adaptation. That means step by step, our behavior will be modified and all. Education is nothing but the behavioral modification, bringing the behavioral changes in the learner and all. Here, there is one more definition is there for regarding the agricultural extension as a part of it. It is nothing but it is a special branch of extension education which deals with the economic and social aspects of people engaged in or associated with the agriculture and all. Here, if you see, agriculture is a vast subject. Within agriculture, we have different disciplines and all, like genetics and plant breeding, agronomy, pathology, entomology, soil science. Likewise, different disciplines were there. Among all these disciplines, one more, the special discipline is nothing but the agricultural extension, which is the basic or the fulcrum of all these, say, the disciplines and all. Here, what happens is, see, in all the other disciplines within the agriculture and all, we do research, we come out with the research findings and all. But in extension, what happens is, whatever the research findings were taken up by the other different disciplines and all, they'll be given to, they'll be transferred to the people who are in needy, actually to the villages and all, to the farming community and all. It acts as a bridge. It acts as a bridge between the scientific community and farming community. Whatever the technologies the scientists they develop, those technologies will be transferred to the farming community, and in turn from the farmers, whatever the problems they were facing and all, those problems will be given to the scientists and all. It is a two-way channel. It is a two-way channel where the scientific technology from the scientists will be taken and will be communicated to the farmers and all, and from the farmers the problems will be given to the scientists and all. That's why it is unique compared to the other disciplines and all. And without extension, whatever the research we do in the other disciplines and all, it's of in vain and all. It's of no importance. Why? Because whatever the scientists they develop, that is for the needy people. The final consumer or the final customer is nothing but the farmer. Until the farmer knows about any technology and all, there is no development on the farming community and all. That's why this particular education, extension education, it holds a high priority and all. And we transfer whatever the technologies got developed by the different disciplines within the agriculture, we transfer them to the village people and all, to the rural community, to the farming community and all. In this way, actually, this acts as a bridge. And if we see the scope of extension education, the subject matter of the extension education, it is the Kelsey and Herney, they have identified 9 different areas in the scope of the agricultural extension and all. The first one is the efficiency in agriculture production. The second is efficiency in marketing, distribution and utilization, conservation, development and the use of the natural resources, management on the farm, in the home, family living, youth development, leadership development, community development, rural area development, and public affairs. These are the 9 different areas where the subject matter of the extension education covers, or it lies in these different areas and all. Here, each and everything we covered regarding the farmers, what they do, they produce the things and all. That's why agriculture production, and we want to bring about efficiency in that production activities and all, and efficiency in marketing activities, what they take up, efficiency in the distributional activities, what they take up, and utilization of those things and all. Next, the conservation and development of the use of the natural resources, we are concentrating on that, and the management on the farm, in the home. Both the things are very much important, and that's why the family living, youth development, leadership development, community development, then the rural area development and public affairs, these are all the different areas. They consist of they make the subject matter of the extension education. And there are certain statements were there which can further amplify the scope of the extension. One by one we'll see. The first thing is the extension is fundamentally a system of out-of-school education. As I explained, it is out-of-school education. That means the people who cannot attend the school education or collegiate education or the university education, for their benefit, to help them. Actually, we developed this particular subject called extension education and all. And this is extension education. It is for all the village people. All the village people means everybody in the villages, whoever, they may be the old farmers or the young farmers or the youth or the children or the women or the agricultural laborers, anyone who are there in the, say, the villages and all. For all of them, the extension education stands. And it is to bringing about the desirable changes in their knowledge, attitude, skill sets. We want to improve, say, their knowledge. That means, what is meant by knowledge? Knowledge is nothing but the knowing the things and all. Here, we try to equip them with different kinds of, say, the information and all. And we try to develop a positive attitude towards the, say, the scientific technology and all. We want to bring about changes in their attitude and all. We want to modify the behavioral aspects and all. And skill sets. What is meant by skill? It is nothing but doing a particular thing and all. To improve their skill sets also, there the subject lies, that is nothing but the extension education. Here we are helping the people to help themselves. Once we help them, automatically they can do their own activities and all. That is the subject or the content of the extension education and all. And it is working with the women, the men, boys, girls, and to answer their self needs and wants also. What is a need? Need is a difference between what is and what ought to be. Here, whatever be the needs the farmer they were feeling, and certain times what happens is the farmer, they may feel the need, they may not feel the need also. We try to convert their unfelt needs into felt needs, and we try to look at their needs and wants. We want to satisfy them. That is the subject matter of the extension. And one more thing, the fundamental principles of extension, it lies in that it is a teaching activity. How this teaching happens? It happens through learning by doing and seeing is believing. Learning by doing. Each and every activity, generally we learn. Learning is nothing but, it's a progressive behavioral adaptation. That means slowly, step by step, we make changes in our behavior and all. That is called learning. Here, whatever the extension philosophy is nothing but learning by doing the activities. When you do a particular activity, all the five senses got engaged, and with that one what happens is you learn the things. That means you experience that. And after that, seeing is believing. When suppose for example, the demonstrations were there, either the method demonstration or result demonstrations and all. In the farmers' minds, what happens is they'll have a doubt of whether this particular, whatever the input that is given to me, whether I can utilize this particular input or not, or the technology or not. The extension change agents, they'll come and they tell about so many changes, or the scientists, they develop the different technologies, and the farmers will be known with those technologies and all. Whether these technologies, they'll come in my field or not, how they know? For that one, the extension, the workers or the change agents, what they use is demonstrations. Demonstration is nothing but showing the result. Result demonstration, the result, the worth, the value of a recommended practice will be shown in the farmers' fields and so that the farmers, seeing is believing. When they look at the result of the things and all, they believe in that and they accept the technology, whatever be the new technology, the innovative ideas, any new idea, any new technology, they accept if they look at the result of that particular thing and all. That's why the demonstrations, they play very important role, and the experts in the demonstration are nothing but the extension workers or the change agents and all. And one more thing, extension is working with harmony with the culture of the people. What is meant by culture? Culture is everything. How we think, how we dress, how we mingle with the others and all, how we say, even our thought process, everything, they come under culture. Our attitudes, our beliefs, our the norms, our systems, everything. What we do, it comes under the culture and all. Culture is the totality. And whatever the extension subject, it should be in harmony, in line with the culture of the people, according to their expectations, according to their culture and all, according to the village people's culture. You should be in a position, being an extension worker, you should be in a position to understand their culture and you should go along with them. then it's a two-way channel. I said, no, it acts as a bridge between the scientific community to the farming community. From the scientists, we take the technology, we give the technologies to the farmers, we transfer the technologies to the farmers and all. And from the farmers, we collect their problem, we try to identify their problems and all. And the problems will be given in turn to the scientists and all. So that the scientists, they do further research, they come out with the findings and all. Again, those findings, the solutions will be given to the farmers back. This is a two-way channel and all. And the extension worker or the change agent, they act as a bridge. And the extension is working with together in groups and all. Generally, any extension worker or any change agent, we work with the people in groups, so that generally what happens is, if it's a group activity and all, whatever the welfare and happiness of the people, we want to expand that welfare and happiness of the people with their own families, their own villages, their own country, and the entire world. The extension, the subject matter of extension is nothing but the fundamental objective of extension is nothing but development of the individuals. Destination man. That means we try to develop the individual, we try to develop their family, their village, in turn their mandal and their districts, their state and their nation and the whole world. And we concentrate on the human beings, and the welfare and the happiness of the human beings is the subject matter of the extension education. And it is the development of the individuals in their day-to-day living and development of their leadership and their society and their world as a whole. And what is the importance of the extension education? To bridge the gap by advising the means of adjustment in the environment and to demonstrations. I said, no, new agriculture technologies we demonstrate to the farmers and all for the purpose of increasing their yields and all. Then to educate them. Education is extension is nothing but it is an educational activity. We try to educate. What is meant by education? I said, no, it is nothing but a progressive, and it is making or bringing desirable changes in the behavior complex of the people. Modifications in their behavior. Because of the education only, the people, they can change their behavior. That's why extension agents, they play a very crucial role in this education process and all. We want to bring about planned changes in the behavior complex of the people. That's why it is nothing but an educational activity. And here we try to understand and we try to find out what are the different solutions to the farmers' problems and all. And in turn, we contribute to the national development program also. And the transfer of technology to the beneficiaries is the prime the criteria for the extension activity and all. And the importance of the agricultural extension, it includes timely supply of the inputs and all, increasing the production activity and the productivity improving and all. And there are firm linkages between the scientists and the farmers, and taking the feedback from the farmers and giving that to the scientists and all. It is the subject matter of the extension education. It is a non-formal education. There are three different types of educations were there: formal education and non-formal education. Formal education means formalities. You have to fulfill certain rules and regulations. Suppose you are pursuing BSc Honors Agriculture Sciences degree. In order to get that degree, you are supposed to finish or fulfill certain formalities and all. You have to take, the admission process. You have to write the exam. You have to get into the course and all. The course will have certain course curriculum and all. You have to fulfill all the subjects and all. You have to write the exams. You have to attend the classes. You have to face the practicals and all. It's a 4 years program and all. You will be forced to do so many different activities and all. That's why it is nothing but the educational activity and all. The extension education is nothing but a professional method. Why? Because here, whatever be the activities we do, we follow a systematic procedure, a step-by-step procedure and all. That's why it is a professional method. And all the extension agents they are highly professional and all. They try to understand the culture of the people. They go in accordance with the culture of the people and all. And they try to bring about the behavioral changes in the farmers and all. And the proven methods of communication, they were used for the speedy adoption and the diffusion of the innovations also. Innovation means a new idea. And the adoption means the adoption of the new idea in their own farming conditions and all by a particular farmer. Diffusion means the spreading of the information, spreading of these new ideas to the entire farming community and all. This particular activity, how the technology got diffused into the farming community, it is the major challenge, and it will be taken care by the extension workers only. And there is one more subject called sociology, rural sociology. Sociology, the term, it was coined by Auguste Comte, the father of the sociology and all. It is coupled with two terms, socius and logos. Socius means companion and logos means speech or the reasoning and all. It is the science of society. We study, it is a science of society. We study the social relationships. We study the social organizations. We study the social institutions and all. Social control, social change. Regarding the society, each and every processes that happens within the society and all, we study here. And rural sociology, and the definition was given by Dr. Smith. Rural sociology is the body of facts and principles of the systematized knowledge which has developed the application of scientific method in the study of the human relationships in the rural environment and people engaged directly or indirectly with the agriculture occupation. Here, it is also a study of the society only. Here we study the rural society and whatever the interrelationships, whatever the group relationships that exist among the, say, the rural community and all, we study as a subject matter of rural sociology. Why? Because in extension education or in agriculture, basically ours is agrarian country. See, the agriculture means to improve the farmers and all, we should have a clear-cut idea regarding the farmers. To teach John Latin, we have to know Latin also, and at the same time we have to know the John also. Here what we do is, the extension education is nothing but we have to understand the farmer first. How it comes, we have to study the farmer conditions, the village conditions and all, where generally they live, what are the different, the relationship that exists among the farming community and all, how they behave, how they interact with each other and all, how the social groups forms within the farming community and all, how the social organizations exist within the farming community, how the social institutions that are built within the farming community and all, everything we study. We study the rural society as such, as a subject matter of rural sociology. Now we try to understand the scope of the rural sociology, the subject matter of the sociology. The first thing is rural social life. Here we study the entire life of the rural people and all. How rural society, how they lead their life and all. We study as a subject matter of rural sociology. Then the rural social organizations. What is an organization? Each and everything. Say a role, authority and all. In the either the institution or the organization, they'll have certain rules and certain role to perform. Each and every organization or institution, they are nothing but the people. The people, in order to maintain the people and all, and in order to have a control over the people and all, inbuilt, it is nothing but actually any organization or any institution, it will have certain role for each and every individual who joins in the institution or the organization. They have a specific role to play, and there are certain rules to follow, and there will be an authority to take the decisions and all. There will be certain authority who takes the, say, the decision making. And with all these three, RRA principle, we call it as rule, authority. If these three were there, we call it as the institution or the organizations and all. What are the different social organizations that are there in the villages and all? We study as a subject matter of rural sociology. What are the different social institutions, like economic institutions or the family, neighborhood or the caste, religion or the educational institutions which are prevailing in the rural areas and all? We study as a subject matter of rural sociology. Rural social process, there are different social processes were there, like cooperation, conflict, assimilation, and these are the different social process we generally observe, subject matter in the sociology. Here in the rural sociology also, we study them. What different kinds of cooperation, what kind of cooperation that exists among the, say, the farmers and all, what kind of conflicts that occur within the farming community and all, how they assimilate with each other and all, how they compete with each other, the competition and all, how they compete with each other, what different kinds of competition that exists among the farmers and all. We study different social process as a subject matter of rural sociology and all. Social control, social change. In order to, these are the two terms and all. How to control the people and all, a matter of sociology we study. And social change also. Change is nothing but changing from the existing condition and all. How they are changing, how they are transforming their living conditions and all. We study as a subject matter of rural sociology. Rural planning and reconstruction. Each and every village, it has to be reconstructed. That means there should be, in the developmental process and all, there should be a modification. There should be a change from the existing condition and all. For that one, we need to have reconstruction and all. And for that one, you need to have a planning. Planning and reconstruction, they become the part of the, say, the subject of the rural sociology and all. And religion and culture also, they see all the farming community, they are affected with this particular the religion and culture. We study both the religion and culture as a subject matter of rural sociology and all. Rural problems and the rural community. What is community? Community is nothing but a common people. They are exposed to the common conditions and all. Here we study the problems. The problem is an unsatisfactory condition, and we identify the problems faced by the farmers and all, and we find out what are the different rural communities that exist, how they interact with each other, what are the common that was there within the rural communities and all, how the social groups are formed, how the different organizations exist, how the institutions occur, social control, social change, social process, everything we study as a subject matter of rural sociology. And what is the importance of the rural sociology in extension work and all? Here, either in the community development or the rural development and all, the development means the progress or the change from the existing condition. It won't happen in the vacuum. It happens within the individual relationships and among the people only. The people who are there, their standard of living can be improved, their thought process can be improved, their feelings can be changed, their attitude can change, their knowledge levels can be changed, their the skill sets can be changed. All these things happen within the individuals and all. It won't happen just like that in vacuum and all. That's why it is in the community development, we have to study the rural sociology in order to build the communities and all. Either in the community development or the rural development, the basic study of the rural sociology. Unless until we study the rural sociology subject, we cannot understand them, and we cannot unless until we know how the social relationship that exists within the villages, within the farmers and all. Unless until we understand what is meant by the farming community, how they interact with each other, what kind of stratification that exists among the farmers, what is their culture, how they lead their life and all, then it's nothing but the importance of the rural sociology it indicates. The next thing is the extension worker is a change agent. He has to bring about the changes within the culture of the people, within the thought process of the farmer. In their behavioral modification is the ultimate goal or the objective of the extension people and all. For that one, he need to understand who are the farmers and all, how they mingle with them, how they interact with them, what is the different social process that exists in the villages and all. Unless until the extension worker knows about the people in the villages and all, we cannot make the changes. That's why we have to understand their culture, everything. Regarding the farmer, we should know their psychology, their sociology, their conditions and all, everything. And then one more thing, in the cross-cultural situation, what happens is the extension worker, the change agent, he or she, they may develop the ethnocentric attitude. What is meant by ethnocentrism? It is nothing but my culture is the best compared to the all other cultures and all. That feeling generally it will be there with each and everyone. That ethnocentric activity, my culture, whatever I do, whatever I think, whatever I feel, that is the prime importance and all. I think that this is the best method and all. How I think is the best method, and what I am thinking, what I am doing is the best thing and all. That kind of attitude is nothing but the ethnocentric attitude. Generally the extension workers and all, if they are coming from the say urban societies and all, when they go to the villages and all, this kind of cross-cultural, when the culture of the say the extension worker and the farmers, if they vary, this kind of ethnocentric attitude it may develop within the say the extension workers and all. For that one, he need to understand. Without understanding rural sociology, without understanding the psychology of the farmers and all, if you go there, if you interact with them and all, automatically that ethnocentric attitude it may come. But once you understand the psychology or the sociology of the farmers and all, then automatically that ethnocentric attitude you can prevent and all. And one more thing, in the villages, when you go to the villages and all, when you mingle with the farming communities and all, they have an established pattern of hierarchy. And being an extension worker, being a change agent and all, whenever you are interacting with the farmers, whenever you are going to the villages and all, you should be in a position to change them. And we want to bring about change in their, say, the behavior and all. We want to modify their behavior. For that one, you need to modify your own behavior first. You need to understand what are the established patterns were there, what are the norms were there, what is the hierarchy. Whenever you are going there, who are occupying, who are the decision makers in that particular area and all, you should be in a position to understand that. And what are all their cultural traits and all. If you understand their cultural traits and all, when you get into that culture and you go in line with their culture of the people and all, then you will be accepted by the people. Unless until they accept you, you cannot do anything. That's the fundamental thing. Generally the extension workers, that's why we have to study the rural sociology also, and the value systems also. What kind of value systems that are prevailing in the rural areas and all, we should be in a position to understand. And there is an interrelationship between the rural sociology and extension. In general, if we observe, rural sociology is the subject, the study of the rural people. It is the science of the rural society. We study the different, say, the needs and interests of the people, then the attitude and behavior of the people we study, and we study the laws of the structure and the development of the rural society. But whereas in the extension education, it is a non-formal education and all. Here, we try to develop them. We try to develop the people and all. We try to modify their, say, the attitude and behavior. We try to develop, or we try to understand their needs, and we try to develop their, say, to convert their unfelt needs into felt needs also. And we try to discover their needs and problems. And based on their needs, based on their problems and all, we want to develop a program. We want to build up the programs which suits to their conditions, which suits to their needs and all. Unless until their needs are fulfilled, no, there is no meaning for the development of a program. That's why the ultimate any program, generally sitting in the, say, the capitals and all, you need not develop the, you cannot develop the program. So you have to understand the people who are there in the, say, the villages and all. You have to understand their needs first. According to their needs and all, you could able to develop the programs. Then the programs will be successful. And the social relationships also, we study as a subject matter of sociology, rural sociology. And here in the extension education, we try to utilize them. We try to utilize the village organizations, their leadership and all, for the benefit of the development of the people and all. And social situations we study, and the data, whatever we collect in the, say, the villages and all, we try to utilize the data for the development of to build up the extension programs for the benefit of the village people and all. And we investigate the social, cultural, political, religious problems of the society and all. And what are the impact of these problems on the extension work and all, we study as a subject matter of extension in the. This is the interrelationship between the rural sociology and extension education and all. Characteristics of Indian rural society. We try to find out what are the different characteristics that exist within the rural society and all. The first and foremost characteristic of rural society is agriculture. Agriculture is the main economic activity that happens in the villages and all. Here, the land will be given with the position of the land will be given with the high priority and all. The people who are having more and more land, they'll be given with the respect, they'll be given with the prestige, they'll be given with the value and all. That's why whoever, generally the majority of the people, they do the agriculture is the main occupation, they do the agricultural activity and all. And the second characteristic is nothing but the caste is the dominant institution in the villages and all. Traditional different caste occupations that exist in the villages and all, like cobblers, the washermen, the goldsmiths, they're in the villages and all. And the religious and caste composition of each and every village, it builds up the character of that particular village and all. Each and every village, there will be different, the caste compositions and the religious compositions will be there in different villages and all. And the habitation, generally, see, the habitations also, they vary in the villages and all. Where a certain group of people they live, that also vary in the villages and all. And each and every village is independent. The village panchayati, they have their own organization, their own authority and sanctions and all. And the village panchayat is a self-government, we can say. And village settlements, they were governed by the traditions and all, the layout of the village and the construction of the houses and all, how they dress, everything regarding how a village looks like and all. It depends upon a certain traditional and the traditions followed by their ancestors and all. And each and every village also, they are very much peculiar because of these the traditional activities and all, the different traditions that exist among different villages and all. With that one, what happens, each and every village is very much peculiar. It is differs from the other villages and all. And each and every rural society is self-sufficient. Economic production activity they take up and all. And the basic unit of production is nothing but the family in the villages and all. And each and every village is a separate, distinct entity. Entity means it is having its own identity, it is having its own uniqueness. And each and every village, it comes up with its own uniqueness. Each and every village across the country and all, across the globe, if we observe, each and every village is having its own identity. They have their own sets of the relationships, their own customs, their own traditions, their own the religious, the activities, the culture of the people, the social relations, how they do, the social organizations that exist, the social institutions that build up in that particular village, the culture of the people, they vary. That's why each and every village, it is a separate entity. It shows its identity compared with the other villages and all. And the sense of attachment also, the we feeling, it will be very high in the villages and all compared to the urban areas and all. And one more thing, villages, they live in the isolation compared to the, generally each and every village, it will be surrounded by the area, the different lands and all that were there. The farmer, they used to do the farming activity and all. That's why isolation is, we can say that each and every village, they live in the village people, they live in the isolation and all. They are very far away from the outside communities and all. They live in their own areas and all. They mingle with the farmers who are their neighbors and all. For their village people only they used to interact and all. And even the social mobility is also very less. They won't go usually to the outside people and all. They interact with the village people only. And one more characteristic is homogeneity. They are more or less, mostly they were similar in nature, like their income or the status or pertaining to their language and all, what they take up, and their thought process also, and the style of living also, the standard way of the leisure way of the living style and all, everything, they are similar in nature. That's why we call villages are homogeneous in nature and all. And the other characteristics like less density of population living in a particular area, it is less in the rural areas and all. Less social mobility, how they move from the one place to the other places and all, it is also very less education and all. Simplicity, traditionalism, fatalism, believing in the superstitions, these are the characteristics of the rural areas and all. They are very simple people. The village people are the very simple people and all, and they follow certain traditions, the customs, certain modes and all they follow, and they believe in the fate and they believe in the fatalism. It is nothing but they believe in the fate and all. They believe in the superstitions and all, and all these things come through the less education that happens in the villages and all. And one more thing, the women, they were not given with the equal priority in the villages and all. That equality of the women empowerment, still it was not there in the villages and all. Slowly it is changing, but it is not there in the villages and all. And when we identify what are the differences and the relationships between the rural and urban societies, one by one we can see how the general environment and orientation to the nature that will be there in the rural society. Rural society is closely associated with the nature. Here, the elements like say the rain, the drought or the heat conditions and all, they prevail. They are very much exposed to these conditions and all. They live in the fields and all. They whatever their activity is nothing but the agricultural activity. That agricultural activity, what they are supposed to do is nothing but in the fields they are supposed to do that activity. And in the urban areas where general environment is, they are very remote from the nature and predominance of the man-made environment. Here, whatever it is within the closed walls and all, we prepare the man-made environment that prevails in the urban areas and all. Whereas in the rural areas, it is a very close to the nature. The farmers, they feel that fresh air, and they are very close to the nature and all. And whatever the occupation, mostly the majority of the occupations were agricultural occupations only. The non-agricultural activities, what they take up, it is very limited and all. But whereas in the urban areas and all, the non-agricultural activities are the primary and the agricultural activities are the secondary and all. The working conditions also, being the agriculture, they work in the open air and all in the villages. Whereas in the urban areas and all, the working conditions are a closed environment. Within the four walls, we used to work and all in the urban areas and all. And the family is also, it works as a unity. It works as a unit and all. That unity, integrity will be there within the family members and all. Whereas in the urban areas and all, different occupations pursue within a particular family also. And the size of the community also, the agriculturalism and the size of community, they are negatively correlated and all. Land to man ratio is very high in rural areas, in the villages and all, and the land to man ratio or the density of population is very high in the villages and all. Land to the land person, the land occupied is very less in the say the urban areas and all. And the density of population, low density in the villages, high density in the urban areas and all. Material portions also less in the villages and all, and in the high in the urban areas and all. Homogeneity, heterogeneity. In the rural area, they are homogeneous and all, similar in nature, similar in thought process, the language they use, the belief system they have, the culture they have, and they are all similar. Whereas the urban areas and all, they are heterogeneous, their interests, their occupations, their languages, they differ. And the social institutions also, inbuilt institutions, natural upcoming of the institutions that we observe in the villages and all, whereas enacted and numerous institutions we observe in the urban areas and all. Social stratification, it is very low in the villages and all, whereas stratification is very high in the, stratification means different layers that exist in the society, they were very low in the villages and all, very high in the urban areas and all. And hierarchy also, less in number in the villages, like lower, middle and upper classes that exist in the villages and all. Whereas in the urban areas we observe within the lower class also, lower upper, lower middle and lower we can observe. Even within the middle class also, middle lower also we can see. And in the upper class also we can see upper middle and upper lower. The stratification is more, the division is more, the different types of class systems that exist in the urban areas and all. And the social contacts, very few, less number of social contacts, that too primary contacts that exist in the villages and all, whereas the secondary contacts, which are very short and temporary contacts that exist in the urban areas and all. Primary contacts means they are long duration contacts and all, that we feeling will be there within the, see the village members and all. And social mobility, it is very less in the villages, social mobility is very high in the village, in the urban areas and all. Social control, it is informal control, that is the more related to the values or the traditions of the rural society. But whereas in the urban areas and all, whatever the formal we observe, the control, social control is formally, legality. Legally we control the behavior of the individuals when we go to the urban areas and all. Then the social change also, slowly, generally the village people and all, because of the less education, because of the superstitions or because of their beliefs, the value systems and all, they are slowly, they are resistant to change and all. Slowly that change, it happens in the villages and all. But whereas the urban, whatever the life we lead in the urban areas and all, it is very dynamic. And in the rural areas, it is static and stable. Whereas in the urban areas and all, it is a constantly, it changes and it is very dynamic and all. Social solidarity, unity, that is more, the sense of belongingness, we feeling it is more in the village people. All the village people believe that the entire village, it acts as a unit and all. Whereas in the urban areas, that sense of belongingness is very less. Standard of living low in the case of the rural areas and high in the urban areas and all. Education facilities, the facilities what we observe in the rural areas, they are very less compared to the urban areas and all. Subsistence economy we observe in the rural areas and all. Cash economy, do the selling activity for the benefit of the the business kind of economy we can observe in the the urban areas and all. Communication, less transport facilities, the bad roads that will be there in the rural areas and all. Whereas the more transport the facilities, the communication facilities are more and more in the urban areas and all. The society as such, the rural society is a simple uni-group society, whereas the urban society is a complex multi-group society and all. And the culture also, sacred culture, they are attached to the divine in the rural areas and all, whereas secular, all the religions will be treated equally. And here it is generally in the urban areas, the human being will be treated as a contact, the address and the number. But whereas in the villages and all, the human beings will be treated as a human being only. Here, each and everyone in the village and all, they know each and everything about the other people and all. They try to, that kind of we feeling will be there. Because of that feeling and all, they interact with the other people in the villages and they inquire about the other people and all. They try to understand the problems of the other people in the villages and all. But whereas in the urban areas and all, the man will be treated as a number and address only. Here the interactions will be very less. Even the interactions were there, they are nothing but the secondary interactions and all. They are secondary group kind of nature that exists among the, say, urban areas and all. Here, these are the differences between the rural and urban societies. Here, in general, the extension education in rural sociology, it's a huge subject and all. There are so many things were there we need to understand regarding the rural people and all. As a subject matter of extension also, we need to have different things were there. It's a vast subject and all. Time constraint and all. We stop here and all. This is the introduction regarding what is meant by extension education and what is meant by rural sociology and how they correlate with each other, what are the differences that exist here within themselves, and what the extension education or the change agent is supposed to do for the benefit of the say the society, the rural society and all. So far we have learnt, and with this one, thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.